Peace. This is Watch for Wise Words Media back at y'all for another round. And hoop heads, man. I know this is going to be a controversial take. I know people ain't going to like what I got to say, but hey. If I dealt with the Canelo fan base, I could deal with y'all too. Luka Donic is the new James Harden. That's right. You heard it here first. Luka Donic is nothing more than the new James Harden. If I tell you a scoring sensation who is an offensive machine, cannot be stopped, gives you 40 and 50 point nights in and out, but is overweight, out of shape, and plays no defense, who do you think I'm talking about? Exactly, my point exactly. You gotta really wonder, am I talking about James Harden or Luka Donic? Because both players are the same. They are fixated on just one half of the basketball court, and that is the offensive end. When it comes to the defensive end, they have little to no interest. And this has always been one of the things that plagued James Harden from being an all-time great to just being a great shooting guard. And maybe an all-time great shooting guard, but not an all-time great. He never really excelled to the next level because he only focused on the offensive end. And what we're seeing from Luka Donic is a lot of the same thing. He only focuses on the offensive end. And you know, I'm in group chats, right? On like IG and such. And I told dudes this on my IG. Like in my IG group chats. I'm like, yo, Luka Donic is nothing more than the new James Harden. I've been saying this for like a year, but because they thought Luka was gonna go on a historic rampage and win a finals MVP and hoist the Larry O'Brien. Because of that, they started bringing up their arguments with me to another level. They started really calling me out. Oh, I'm gonna buy you a Luka jersey and all of that. And I'm like, yo, fine, you can do all that. Because it's not that I dislike him, but I'm calling the facts that I see to y'all. I'm letting you know what I'm observing. And what I'm observing is something I saw before. I saw this show before. I saw a guy that puts up 40, 50 points. Harden used to put up 60-point nights. I've seen this. I've seen a guy that goes on stretches of 30, 40, 50-point nights, game after game after game. I've seen him do that. But then I seen this same guy not defend, not give it his all on the other side of the court. It's 90 feet, not just 45. It's not a half-court game. It's a full-court game. And in basketball, what separates basketball from baseball, football, from all these other sports is that you are equally held accountable on both offense and defense. Every player in the league is equally accountable on offense and defense. And a guy like such as Luka Donic, what he doesn't do is hold accountability for the defensive end. Teams used to pick and roll James Harden, and they used to make their best player or whoever they wanted to score, they used to make Harden pick him up off the switch, and they used to abuse James Harden. The Boston Celtics utilized that same offensive approach against Dallas. They would switch off on Luka Donic and force Doncic to play defense on whether it be Jaylen Brown, whether it be Jason Tatum, whether it be Derek White, Drew, whoever it was, they would force him to switch. And whoever had Doncic was the one that got offensively aggressive and majority of the time scored buckets. And Luka, one thing that I find absolutely maddening about his game, which James Harden never really did this, but Luka Doncic get back on defense. When he misses a shot, he's always crying to the referees. There's times he literally just stays on the ground looking at the referee while his man, the scouting report's out there. And you're seeing teams do this more and more to Luka. When he starts to look at the referees after he misses a shot, the person that Luka's supposed to be defending, you see them, boom, they burst out. They head towards the basket. Why? Because they know Luka doesn't get back on defense. He's more concerned with the optics of his game, how he looks by missing a shot. He's more worried about that than he is about getting back on defense against the man he's supposed to be defending. So because this scouting report is out on Luka, you see dudes bursting. They running towards the basket as soon as Luka misses a shot because they know Luka's not focused on defense. He's focused on looking at the referees, complaining, crying. This guy cries so much, he makes LeBron James look like a 1980s Isaiah Thomas. Like, Luka is the most crying, complaining basketball player I've ever seen in my life. And if Luka Doncic is going to excel and become an all-time great, as old media already tried to make you think he was, and a lot of y'all fell for it. They already try to replace LeBron James. They're saying that he was better than LeBron James, better than Larry Bird, better than... Listen, even you started hearing, like, even though the people with Dallas was like, oh, pump your brakes, because they started talking, is he better than Dirk? Like, man, pump your brakes. In order for him to be an all-time great and excel to the next level, he's got to work on two things. His conditioning, his stamina, because he's overweight. He's a very pudgy guy. He's got to work on his stamina, his conditioning, and maybe that's part of the reason why he doesn't defend, because he doesn't want to exert that much energy on the other side of the court. And the other thing he has to do is work on that other side of the court. Defense, a focus on defense. The Mavericks need to bring in some defensive specialists from the past to work on him, give him some tips on defense, because they got the guys like Shamgard over there that's helping him offensively. But he needs defensive coaching as well. He needs guys that are going to give him what Shamgard and Jason Kidd give him on offense. He needs guys that are going to give him that on defense, because he is such a liability. I've never seen a single superstar get picked on so much the way Luka did in these finals. They just kept picking and rolling and making him switch to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, whoever it was. They thought, okay, Drew Holiday got the ball. Whoop, bucket. Oh, Derek White got the three. Like, this is, it was a beatdown. And he will not be an all-time great. I'm telling you, he will not, unless he works on those two things. Getting his conditioning up. This is why Michael Finley ran into some controversy, because after Luka and them beat the Wolves, Luka was drinking beer. Michael Finley snatched the beer out of his hands like, yo, what you doing? And Michael Finley was right. He took a lot of heat for that on social media, but he's right, man. This dude, what are you doing drinking beer? You ain't even won the championship yet. And you shouldn't be drinking beer anyway. That's why he's pudgy and fat. You shouldn't be drinking that beer when you still got a goal. You know? And yeah, that's why I say he's nothing more than the next James Harden. James Harden is an all-time great shooting guard. All-time great shooting guard. Offensive sensation. But that's what he is. He's an offensive machine, offensive sensation, fun offensive player to watch, but that's all he brings. just one half of the court. Focused, fixated on offense only. And until Luka decides to be like the greats, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was one of the most fascinating offensive minds, offensive players, gifted players of all time. Kawhi Leonard was, one of the greatest on both sides of the court. LeBron James is fixated. He is obsessed with winning a Defensive Player of the Year award. Kobe Bryant was defensive. All the greats played all 90 feet. Even Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant at one point was just a sensational offensive player. When he got to Golden State, part of that Golden State culture, why they were winning so much, was because they were very defensive. And Klay Thompson was defensive. Draymond was defensive. And Kevin Durant stepped up his defense and won 2 championships. So until Luka focuses on that other side of the court, he'll just be the new James Harden. I'm Wise for Wise Words Media. Peace.